You're losing weight on a GLP-1 medication like Zepbound, Mounjaro, Ozempic, or Wegovy, but you're also losing muscle. If you're not careful, you could be trading fat for frailty. In this video, I am going to show you how to protect your muscle while the pounds come off, backed by science and simple strategies you can actually stick to. So if you're wondering why muscle loss happens on a GLP-1 medication, GLP-1 medications reduce appetite and slow digestion. That is great for weight loss. But when you eat much less, your body may not get enough protein or calories to maintain muscle. The result, you lose weight, but not just fat. Up to 25 to 30% of weight loss could come from lean muscle mass. I am Dr. Basla Khaled. I am a board-certified obesity medicine and internal medicine doctor. I prescribe GLP-1 medications to my patients to manage weight, control blood sugar, and improve metabolic health. One of the biggest concerns is muscle loss on GLP-1 medication or any other weight loss method, as when you're losing weight, you lose both fat and muscle. So what can you do to prevent muscle loss? Let's dive into 10 key strategies to hold on to muscle and maybe even gain some muscle while you are on a GLP-1 medication. The single most important thing that you can do to help preserve muscle while you are on a GLP-1 medication would be to eat enough protein every single day. Protein is the number one tool to preserve muscle. Protein is essential because it builds and repairs muscles, tissues, and organs. It supports enzymes, hormones, and immune function. It helps maintain muscle mass, especially during weight loss. And it also improves satiety that helps you feel full longer. So how much protein should you be eating on a GLP-1 medication? Ideally, you should be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. As an example, if you're just getting started on a GLP-1 medication with a current weight of 200 pounds, but your ideal body weight is, let's say, 135 pounds, you should be getting 135 grams of protein every single day to help with the fat loss, but still preserve your muscle. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Think of your ideal body weight. Let's say if your ideal body weight is 120 pounds, you should be getting 120 grams of protein per day. If your ideal body weight is 140 pounds, you should be getting 140 grams of protein daily. And let's say if your ideal body weight is 160 pounds, you should be getting 160 grams of protein daily to help preserve your muscles and to help with the weight loss. Eating adequate protein on a GLP-1 medication is a non-negotiable. So let's talk about what 135 grams of protein would look like in a day. Your breakfast could be 3 eggs, 3 ounces of smoked salmon, some spinach and olive oil. Lunch could be 6 ounces of grilled turkey breast, some mixed green salad. Dinner could be some grilled beef steak with roasted broccoli and asparagus. And your snack could be 2 boiled eggs, maybe a piece of cheddar cheese. Let's talk about another example of 135 grams of protein a day. Your breakfast could be 3 eggs, 3 ounces of turkey, half a cup of cheese, some spinach and mushroom. Your lunch could be 6 ounces of grilled chicken, some leafy greens. Dinner could be 6 ounces of salmon, some roasted zucchini or cauliflower and olive oil. And snack could be a protein shake. Both of these examples are geared towards meat sources of protein. Let's talk about a few vegetarian options that can help enhance your protein intake depending upon your meal preference. As you can see, eating adequate amount of protein while on a GLP-1 medication is very important. It is doable, however, it needs planning and mindfulness. Secondly, spreading your protein intake across meals is key. Here's something to remember as you're trying to hit your protein goals on GLP-1 medications. Protein intake timing matters. Studies show that evenly distributing protein throughout the day is more effective for building and preserving muscle than front-loading or back-loading it. One study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that consuming 30 grams of protein per meal was more helpful for muscle protein synthesis than skewed intake like having 10 grams at breakfast and 60 grams at dinner. Our body cannot store protein the way it stores fats or carbohydrates. That means you can't just slam 100 grams of protein in one meal and expect it to protect your muscle. Instead, you need to spread it out. Aim for about 30 to 40 grams of high quality protein per meal, especially if you are eating 2 to 3 meals a day due to reduced appetite. This will not only support muscle protein synthesis throughout the day, but it also helps with satiety and blood sugar stability. Third important thing to do while you are on a GLP-1 medication is to strength train at least twice a week. Let's be clear, if you're not using your muscles, your body assumes you don't need them. And while you are on a GLP-1 medication, you're eating less and losing weight. Your body even is more likely to tap into muscle tissue unless you give it a reason not to. That's when and where resistance training comes in. When you lift weights or do body exercises, you're sending a very clear signal to your body saying, don't break this muscle down, I need it. The best part, you don't need to train like a bodybuilder. Even 2 short full body workouts a week, let's say 15 to 20 minutes, can go a very long way in preserving lean muscle, improving strength, and keeping your metabolism from slowing down. Next step is prioritizing recovery and sleep. Here's something most people forget when trying to preserve muscle. Muscle isn't actually built in the gym. It's built during recovery, especially when you sleep. You can eat all the protein and lift all the weights you want, but if you're not giving your body time to repair, it won't matter. Poor sleep leads to more muscle breakdown, slower recovery, and less growth hormone, which is vital for preserving and building lean tissue. So aim for at least 8 hours of quality sleep every night. If you are in a weight loss phase with GLP-1 medication, your body is already under stress, and therefore deep restorative sleep is non-negotiable. Remember, muscle is broken in the gym, repaired in the kitchen by eating protein, and build while you sleep. Don't go too low on calories. One of the biggest risks with GLP-1 medication is losing muscle because you're not eating enough. These medications work by suppressing appetite. That's a good thing when it comes to breaking food cravings, but some people take it too far. If you are barely eating maybe just 500 to 700 calories a day, your body does not have enough fuel. And when that happens, it starts burning whatever it can, including muscle. Remember, the goal is to lose fat, not healthy muscle. You still need calories to fuel your metabolism, brain, immune system, and yes, your muscles. Next, think of refeed strategy. When you are in a calorie deficit for too long, especially on appetite suppressing medications like GLP-1 agonists, your metabolism can adapt and slow down. This is called metabolic adaptation. That's where refeed days come in. Every 1 to 3 weeks, especially if you're noticing fatigue, plateaus, or muscle weakness, you can have a planned day of slightly increased caloric intake, mostly through healthy carbohydrates and protein. Think of this as a reset. You're telling your body, hey, I'm not starving, don't shut down. A study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that periodic refeed days help maintain resting metabolic rate and lean muscle more effectively than continuous low-calorie dieting. Think of it as it's not a cheat day, it is a calculated strategy. Avoid long fasting windows. Let's talk about fasting. Intermittent fasting can be very helpful for some, especially for appetite control or insulin resistance. But here's the thing. If you're only eating one small meal a day, especially when you are on a GLP-1 medication, you might be unintentionally starving your muscles. Muscle need regular protein signals. If you go 18 to 20 hours without eating, your body may start breaking down lean muscle for energy, especially if your protein intake is already low. That's why I recommend at least 2 to 3 protein-rich meals a day, ideally spaced throughout your day. That way your body gets multiple muscle-preserving signals. Let's talk about creatine monohydrate. It is an optional but effective supplement. No, it's not just for bodybuilders. In fact, creatine is one of the most studied, safe, and most effective supplement for preserving lean muscle and strength, especially when you're losing weight on a GLP-1 medicine. When you eat fewer calories, you risk losing muscle. Creatine acts as a buffer. It supports your energy production inside the muscle and even helps with strength, endurance, and cognitive function. The best part, it's cheap, widely available, and backed by clinical studies. The typical maintenance dose of creatine monohydrate is 3 to 5 grams per day. Watch the scale, but track the muscles too. Watching the scale go down can be super motivating, but here's one thing. The number alone doesn't tell the whole story. If your weight is dropping, but you're also losing strength, feeling weaker, and noticing your clothes fit differently in a wrong way, this may mean you're losing muscle, not just fat. That's why it is important to track more than just your weight. You want to keep an eye on your muscle mass, strength, and other things like body composition. Tools like body composition scans, skin fold calipers, or even just tracking your strength gains in the gym can tell you if you're preserving muscles while you lose weight. If you notice muscle loss, it's time to reassess your nutrition, your training, and recovery. Modern day composition methods like bone density scan can give very precise information on your fat versus muscle loss. If your doctor's office doesn't have a DEXA or a bone density scan for body composition, you can often still get a private out-of-pocket bone density composition test for anywhere $100 to $150. Think about getting your labs checked, especially vitamin D, B12, iron. Let's say you're doing everything right, eating protein, working out, sleeping well, but let's say you still feel tired, you're not building strength, or you're recovering poorly. That might not be a motivation problem. It could be a deficiency in key nutrients or hormones. Things like vitamin D, thyroid, B12, iron play a big role in muscle health, energy, and performance. Ask your doctor about running blood tests like thyroid function tests, blood count, sugar, electrolytes, kidney and liver function tests, along with some additional testing like your iron levels, vitamin D, B12 levels. Especially if you're feeling off, fatigue, or noticing poor workout recovery. It's better to catch these things early than to waste months wondering why things are not working. Your muscles don't grow in isolation. They depend on these key nutrients and hormones. Vitamin D supports muscle strength, recovery, and testosterone production. Vitamin B12 helps with energy metabolism and nerve function. Iron carries oxygen to your muscles. Low iron can make you feel constantly exhausted. Several studies show that deficiency in these markers are linked to reduced muscle mass, fatigue, and even higher fall risk in older adults. Let's recap. If you want to lose weight without losing strength, focus on protein, resistance training, sleep, smart choices and calories, and checking your labs. What's been your experience on GLP-1 agonist medications? Are you lifting weights? Are you getting adequate protein? If you found this video helpful, like and please subscribe and share with someone who is also on a GLP-1 medication journey so you and your loved ones don't miss future videos on GLP-1 and weight loss. You deserve to feel strong, lean, and energized, not just skinny.